This video is to show you the process that you go through to make your own LDS Connect adapter from an existing Facebook Connect or Instagram OAuth2 library. So I already have the library built in JavaScript. I'm going to show you that process, but I'm going to talk through it, some of the pitfalls you might have or things that you need to discover. But you should be able to repeat this with, say, OmniAuth and Ruby or whatever Python has and whatever the other programming languages are. This is just kind of like a generic step through of how to take a Facebook example that works in any language and convert it to an LDS Connect example. So first thing I'm going to do here is go to ldsconnect.org and then to the API page. And you can see here's this video if you want to watch it. Inception. All right, so here we are. These are the instructions for converting any OAuth2, meaning Facebook Connect library, to use LDS Connect. First, you need to find the library and example and your language of choice. So I happen to know that in node.js, the most popular authentication library is Passport. So I'm going to search for Passport Facebook example. And I'm lucky enough that it's actually the first hit right here. So I'll go ahead and just copy this clone URL. But before I get too far ahead of myself, let's make sure it actually has an example. Well, there's an example/login folder. That's a good sign. And let's see if the README has any pertinent information. All right, for a complete working example, refer to the login example. All right, we're still right here in the same repository. This looks good. I'm going to go ahead and clone it. And I'll clear my screen. And now I'll go into that directory, take a look around, and there's the examples folder. That looks promising. And that's probably the login example I'm looking for. I'm just going to go ahead and be hasty and try running what seems to be obviously the only program in the directory. And it didn't work. All right, let me resort to seeing if there's a README. And luckily there is. Otherwise I might have to go asking on Stack Overflow. Okay, edit app.js to include your Facebook app ID and secret. Install the dependencies, run the demo. The server will run on port 3000. Luckily this one is short and sweet. So let me just go ahead and open up app.js. I'm going to refer back to ldsconnect.org because as you'll notice, I actually include the tokens that you need for testing with Facebook. So you don't even have to register a Facebook app. You can just copy that app ID right there. Let me go ahead and do that. Copy this app secret. Go ahead and do that. Okay, and let's make sure there's nothing else. Let's see. Facebook. All right, so there's also the callback URL. All right. So let me see. It said that it would run on localhost, so let's search for 127.0.0.1. Nope, let's search for localhost. All right, and I will just replace this, leaving the rest of the callback URL, but I'll just paste in the example URL. And then I need to look to see if there's any other place where that port was used. So the port was 3000 that it was on before. Oh, so this needs to be changed to 4080 as well. And let's just do a search for any other place. Okay, so let me double check that I followed the instructions. I included my Facebook app ID and secret. Because I was told to here on LDS Connect, I changed the callback URL from localhost. And by the way, the reason that we're changing it from localhost to local.foobar3000.com is Facebook requires an actual legitimate domain name. So local, of course, points to localhost, but this is a legitimate domain name both for use with Facebook apps and also it's helpful for SSL, which we'll do as part of this. So I'm pretty confident that I did that all correctly. So let's try running this again. Oh, I forgot to do the npm install. There we are. And finally, now it's running. So I can go to, I'll just exit out of this tab actually, copy this and open up a new one. All right, what a dinky demo, right? But here it is, it works. So I'll go ahead and log in with Facebook. And it looks like the demonstration's working. Okay, I'll take that. Yes. And I'm back here with the data showing. So now we're going to take that working Facebook example and we're going to convert it over to LDS Connect. So I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to have to grep for facebook.com, including the modules that I installed, and see what we get. Whoops. All right. That was a little bit too much. Let me try. Let me just try to find facebook.com/dialog/OAuth. Narrow it down. Okay, so there's one file that's a submodule. Let me go ahead and edit that bad boy. Oh, and there it is. So there are three things that need to change. Authorization URL. Copy and paste that. All right, that's the authorization URL. I mean, in different libraries, it's going to be called slightly different things. Maybe it's called auth URL or access token URL or whatever, but you get the gist of it. So I need to replace Facebook's token URL with LDS Connect's token URL. And then lastly, I need to replace the profile URL. And again, this would be the same if it were Instagram or any other service that uses OAuth2, whatever is the easiest example you can find. Okay, so I changed those three things. And now I need to change my app ID and app secret from being the Facebook ones to being the LDS Connect ones. Go back up here. Copy this in. So all I'm doing is just hacking that Facebook Connect library to become an LDS Connect library. I'm not even changing the string names. Still calling it Facebook there. I'll leave Facebook in all the different places. The URLs are all wrong. They're all /auth/Facebook, and that's fine because we're just trying to test to get the thing working. All right, so I think I've got that done. Those two are fixed. All right, and then I need the callback URL to be HTTPS. Now that's going to be a little bit tricky. Because this currently isn't an HTTPS server. Actually, to start off with, we'll just do HTTP, because for the demo app, HTTP will work. And I'll show you HTTPS in the next go. All right. And then I'm probably going to have to change... I don't think I'm going to have to change anything else. It's just those 6 things. So I'm going to go ahead and start the app again. Go back here. All right, now I still have the login with Facebook button because I didn't change the image that goes here. I didn't change the URL it goes to, but if I click on it, surely enough, with just those 6 changes, I can now log in as Dumbledore and Secret. All right, so I just made a slight mistake here in the callback URL. Let me go back and fix that. So I'm still listening on port 4080, but in my callback URL, I was on 8043, the one that I created up here. Okay, so let's try that again with that fixed. All right, so here I am, log in, and boom, I had already authorized this, so I get back the data. Now, if I want to clean this up, I would go in here and figure out where that passport Facebook module was that I modified earlier that I was just grepping through to find when I was doing this. Oh, well, that's no longer there because now it's LDS Connect. But anyway, I just go back to that module. I'd start pulling that out and then start creating it as an LDS Connect module. And then I'd republish it to GitHub and wherever else. And the next one, I'll show you how to more properly use the demo example that I've actually already built for Node.js and LDS Connect. If this was useful for you, please go ahead and give that little thumbs up button a nice click. Also, you'll see the notes are in the comments section down below. You can either at the end of the article or right up at the top. Give it a like, tweet, +1, whatever. Thanks.